Federal court blocks expansion of Title IX to include gender identity.
This is Dr. David Shine, and welcome to Business Law 101.
A federal court ruled in the case of Kansas versus United States Department of Education to block the Department of Education, also known as the DOE, final rule to redefine Title IX's definition of sex, slated to take effect on August 1. This was just the most recent case blocking the DOE rule in Kansas, Alaska, Utah, and Wyoming. Other plaintiffs included Moms for Liberty, Young America's Foundation, and Female Athletes United. These states join 11 other states that already have obtained federal court orders blocking the new DOE rule. The legal argument was that the DOE's new rule exceeds its statutory authority under Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972. The plaintiffs claimed that the rule's redefinition of sex to encompass gender identity and sexual orientation contradicted the original legislative intent and statutory language. Title IX was passed in 1972 and focused on protecting biological women from discrimination in higher education, including the classrooms, extracurricular activities, and sports. It also called for formal rules and procedures by covered institutions for dealing with allegations of discrimination. In the 50 years since it was enacted, it has helped to dramatically increase opportunities for women to enjoy participation in sports and other activities. Prior to Title IX, women were far behind men in both varsity, other sports, and extracurricular activities. Title IX has made a positive difference. The judge in the Kansas case stated, I quote, "The unambiguous plain language of the statutory provisions and the legislative history make clear that the term sex means the traditional concept of biological sex in which there are only two sexes, male and female." Importantly, this judge also applied the major questions doctrine, which means that if there is something major, it should be a result of Congress revising Title IX, not a federal agency. Note that this ruling is consistent with recent rulings of the U.S. Supreme Court, which are reining in these out-of-control federal agencies. Balancing this in a statement emailed to the Epoch Times, the DOE spokesperson said they were reviewing the ruling and added, Title IX prohibits sex discrimination in a federally funded educational environment. And continuing, the department crafted the final Title IX regulations following a rigorous process to realize the non-discrimination mandate of Title IX. The department stands by the final Title IX regulations released in April 2024 and will continue to fight for every student. While the appeals of previous rulings are pending, we have asked the trial courts to allow the unchallenged provisions, the bulk of the final rule, to take effect in these states as scheduled on August 1. The judge recently blocked nationwide the Biden administration's attempt to revise Title IX. U.S. District Judge Danny Reeves' ruling blocked the changes for the entire country, determining that the regulations exceed the administration's authority under Title IX, violate the Constitution, and are the result of arbitrary and capricious agency action. Up until that ruling, the changes barring discrimination based on gender identity were only blocked in a handful of states. Reeves also ruled the U.S. Department of Education's interpretation of what constitutes sex-based misconduct was too broad. Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skameny hailed the ruling. The court's order is a resounding victory for protection of girls' privacy in locker rooms and showers and for the freedom to speak biologically accurate pronouns. Folks, I have a suspicion this is not the end of this controversy. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Business Law 101. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform.